Hello there everybody, Boyd here with you. Welcome to my next video build series here on the channel. This is the DeAgostini 1/8 scale Ford GT model kit. This is an absolutely beautiful model. I'm really excited to be building it here for you guys. I'll put a link down below in the comment section for the DeAgostini website so you guys can go over there and check out the various products they have. They have some beautiful model kits as a lot of you guys have probably heard about. I remember originally hearing about DeAgostini when they came out with the Millennium Falcon model kit years ago. I wish I would have got one of those, and I kind of waited too long, but hopefully they'll release that kit again, and if they do, I'll certainly sign up for that. I just got my first shipment in. As you guys probably may or may not know, this is a subscription type model build, so you'll basically get parts packs once per month. And they do change once in a while between how many parts packs you get with each shipment, depending on the various stages of the build. So along with the parts pack, you get these really interesting magazines. This first one that we have here is sort of the collection guide that talks about the history of the Ford GT itself, the historic races that it won at the famous Le Mans race. The recent really popular movie Ford versus Ferrari was inspired by this entire story, and just some really fascinating history behind all this. I've always been a big fan of this. Growing up a speed racer fan, I always thought these cars looked a lot like the cars that were in that television show, and I just really love the design and the look of these cars, and the fact that Carroll Shelby was involved with it, who was one of my big heroes. Really always had me interested in these. As you can see, this is a beautiful model kit. It measures almost 20 inches long when fully assembled, so it's quite large, extremely detailed, just beautiful in and out. You have the full cockpit interior there, you have the engine details, the chassis, the body is absolutely beautiful. The really nice thing about these DeAgostini kits is that there isn't any painting required. Now along the way as we do our build here, we may be doing a few little extra things on this kit here and there to kind of bring up the detail a little bit on it. Typical of what we do building models, but nothing too extravagant. I basically want to show you guys how this kit will build right out of the box, as we say. So as you can see here, we've got some beautiful full color pictures, and this model also features some electronics such as working headlights, taillights. I think the interior dashboard lights up, and then we have an engine sound, so it'll be really interesting to see how that all works out. But again, I'm really excited about getting this built. And we've got our first two parts packs that came in, so we're going to be starting on those today. Just a little bit more to show you here. We have our Parts Pack 1 and Parts Pack 2 books that show you a little bit more detail about the car itself. And then they go into the actual instruction part now. In Parts Pack 1 here, which I'll be showing you in just a second, we get the front part of the car, the hood area, the headlight buckets, and some reflectors. And basically, we're not going to be doing much assembly on this part so far. We're asked to basically set this aside for now. But I believe the next couple of parts packs that come in directly after this, we do have some assembly going on here, so we'll be back to that really shortly. But they give you a quick view of the parts here as they look on the kit, and then the breakdown of the parts by themselves. So there's not much for instructions on this one. Here we see parts pack number 2, which I believe is the right front tire and wheel assembly. Just some more detail about the history of the Le Mans race and the cars that were involved. Just really awesome looking designs back then. Here we see a couple of Ford GTs on the track. They were very successful. And here we have the instructions for putting the parts together that we get in Parts Pack 1. As you can see, this is a tire and wheel assembly. We have the disc brake, the backing plate, parts of the inner and outer rim and the center part of the rim, and we're using screws to put this together. In just about the entire build here, I'm pretty sure there isn't any glue required. Now we'll kind of take a look at that as we go all the way through and make sure. We may have to use a couple drops of glue here and there just to make sure everything's going to be nice and secure, but for the most part all you need is a standard Phillips screwdriver to put this together. So you can see it's pretty straightforward. Again, these kits are designed to where if you don't have the ability to do painting in your work area, or you don't have a lot of modeling supplies, keeping it really simple with just using a Phillips screwdriver will put this in the realm of a lot of people out there who don't have, you know, the setup to build models, and will be able to put together a really beautiful model and display it when they're finished. So this is a really unique opportunity. So let me get the parts pack number 2 over here on the workbench, you guys, and we'll go to work and start putting this together. And I'm really excited to show you the build process all the way through. We'll be right back with parts pack number 2. Okay, everybody, well, we're back with you again. And before we get started on the assembly here, I wanted to show you both of our parts packs that we got in with our first shipment. You can see parts pack number 1 here is the forward part of the car. They refer to this as the bonnet. Here in the United States, we call this the hood. But it's beautifully painted. You can see the finish on it is really, really nice and smooth and high gloss. You've already got the really nice racing stripe that's been painted on there, as well as some of the pinstripe that goes around the sides. And it's that beautiful Gulf livery, which is so famous from the Le Mans era of racing. And you see we've got the front headlight buckets here and the reflectors for the headlights and the lower parking lights, or road driving lights, I think they're called. So we'll just kind of set this one off to the side for now. As I mentioned, we're not using this in the first stage. So we'll come back and revisit this a little bit later, but just to give you an idea of the scale, this is going to be a really large model car when it's finished, and I'm really excited to get going on it. So here we have parts pack number 2 along with the assembly instructions. So let's go ahead and get started, you guys. We're going to flip open to our back part here, and we see that we're starting off with the inner wheel, center part of the wheel, and the outer and inner rim part of the wheel. And so we'll get started on that. These parts are metal, you guys, so they're nice and hefty and solid, so this model will be really durable when it's finished and last you a long time. The method that we're going to be using to put this together at first looks like it's going to be a pressure fit. There are no screws involved in this part. Down here we can see that we have the screws that are included with the kit. We have a total of 6 that go for this particular assembly. Now these are all labeled, so you want to make sure you pay attention to that. We have FD01, FD02, and FP01. So you can see we have these little screws in these bags here, and these are labeled. So we have there's 02, 01, and then finally FP01. So we want to make sure that we use those in the right places. All right, we're going to start off with the center part of the wheel here, get this out of the package, and looks like we're going with the outer ring first here. We're turning this over and we're lining up these little pins with these slots that you see right here. So we'll go ahead and lay that in there. It may only go one certain way, but it's kind of a pressure fit, so you want to make sure you push everything in there nice and solid, make sure it sits down completely flush. Then we've got the other part of the ring here, and we have the pegs here are a little bit different shape, so we want to make sure we line these up, and when we push it together, it's got sort of a pressure fit feel to it. And I think it's this one here. And we'll try to get this lined up. It's only going to line up one way, you guys. These are spaced unevenly. And there we go. Make sure we squeeze it together nice and firmly. And it is a nice tight fit, so we don't want that coming apart later on. And it's completely up to you, you guys. If you decide you want to use a tiny little drop of glue in there, I would probably recommend a little drop of CA glue in this case. I'm going to actually push down on my bench here to make sure I get this completely flat. If you wanted to use a tiny drop of CA glue in each one of those pegs, but it looks like it's holding together nice and solid, you guys, and we don't want to have to worry about that, but it's optional if you want to do that. I just want to show you the beauty of this part here, you guys. It has a beautiful aluminum satin finish on this with sort of a clear coat over the top of it, and it looks absolutely perfect, and it looks just like the satin aluminum look that would have been on the original wheels for this car. So we have that first initial step done. Now it looks like we're looking at the rotor backing plate, part of the braking system on the car. So we're going to pull this part out here and line it up like they show it kind of on the instructions here. Now this has a beautiful paint finish on it as well, sort of a gunmetal. It's got a nice clear coat over the top of it. So these are really high quality parts, you guys, and nice and hefty like I mentioned. This is going to be nice and strong. So we've got this little plug that goes in here for part of the brake cooling system is what they're calling it. So I'm going to be really careful removing that. It goes in this little area right here. And you can see that I want to point out that they have a little notch in here. So you want to make sure when you drop this in that that notch is lined up and this sits all the way flush down inside. Just like that. Okay. And then we're going to be using screw number FP01, it looks like. So I'm going to make sure I get the right screw out of the package here. And we're going to be using this one right here. Now, one little tip I want to share with you guys on this is that one thing you might want to consider, and I'm going to be doing here, I'm using a little bit of lithium grease. You might be able to see it off to the side here. I'm just going to take the screw and dip it in that, and it will not affect the gripping power of the screw at all. I'm also going to dip a little bit on my screwdriver tip here so that we can help hold the screw in place and it doesn't drop off of our tip. But I'm going to dip this in here just a tiny little bit and get some grease on that because this will help the part from galling when we're putting the screw into it, especially when screwing into metal. You can get shavings in there or whatever, and that can, you know, make the wear excess, and so it'll be a little bit, you know, loose fitting. So this will help it go in there a lot easier and won't actually damage the part itself. And just by doing that, it made it a lot easier for that to screw. And I noticed people when they were building these were having a lot of, you know, having to use a lot of force to screw together some of the parts. But that grease won't affect this part whatsoever. These are metal parts, and this is lithium grease is sort of a neutral grease, so that'll help you out a whole lot going forward with putting this model together. And if you ever want to take it back apart again, you won't have excess wear inside these little sockets where these screws are going in. So just something to kind of think about as you're going forward. Let's move on to the next step here. And we see now that we're bringing in the actual brake rotor. And we're going to orient the part the way they have it shown here. So this basically drops down on there like that. And then it looks like we've got a brake caliper. And we want to make sure we've got that lined up properly. We've got two holes on the inside here. It looks like it goes just like this. You've got an aligning peg on the top and a screw socket on the bottom. And let's see what screw they're calling for that one. That would be FD01, so we want to make sure we grab the right one there, which is this one here. We're going to set this one off to the side. It very well may be that we don't use all these screws on this right front wheel. We may have to save these screws for the left front or something like that, so I'll go ahead and put that one back in the bag so we don't get that messed up. We have FD01. Just double checking here. So, okay, we're going to use that one next. I'll take and put some Scotch tape over those when we're done using them. And again, we're going to put a little bit of grease on this one again. And it's going in there nice and easy. I'm going to screw that down all the way until it reaches the very bottom. And that looks really good. Okay, so we'll move on to the next step now, which is all right, so it looks like we're going to be securing this in place. Make sure I understand this correctly. It says, turn the entire assembly over and secure the brake to the wheel with FD02 screw. 'Cause 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 'c Looks like we're putting a screw into the center part there. Make sure that that drops all the way in there like it's supposed to. There we go. As you can see, guys, there's a slot. Let me show you this a little bit better. You can see that we have a little slot here on the edge of the brake rotor, and there are these stems that stick out on the bottom of the hub here, so we want to make sure it drops into one of those. There's the longest one. You can see it on the center there. It's taller than the other ones, so we want to make sure we line that up correctly. That should sit nice and flush, and make sure it turns. Then we're going to be using an FD02 screw, which is these sort of, they have a little bit larger head and sort of a washer on those, so that makes sense. Go ahead and get one of those out. A little bit of grease to help hold our screw here, and then a little bit on the tip again. A little bit of grease going into this little wheel assembly is not a bad idea either, so it'll always have a nice lubricated surface to roll on. Alright, I've got that lined up. I'm going to go ahead and tighten that one in. Make sure we've got it all the way bottomed out. Actually, I think I'm going to switch to my next bigger size screwdriver. This one's taking a little bit of pressure. Got a little bit of play in there still. I want to make sure we get all the way tight. Okay, a little bit more. These are fitting pretty snug, you guys. You're going to have to use a little bit of pressure on this particular one. I'm going to go just a little bit more. We want to tighten it just to the point where we don't have any play, but we don't want the wheel to bind at all. Want it to roll nice and free. There we go. Very nice. Okay, and then we are moving on now to, it looks like putting the center knockoff. And let's see if there's any particular way this is supposed to fit. Doesn't look like it. Okay, it says that it has a built-in magnet, so it will stay in position. And there we have it, you guys. There's our first part of the assembly. We have our brake backing and caliper. There's more detail that goes onto this a little bit later on. It rolls nice and free. It looks like it's nice and true. It's very heavy already, so this is going to be a really solid model, you guys. I'm very impressed so far. Okay, guys, well, that will conclude part one of our build here. We'll be back as soon as we get our next parts pack installment that arrives here at the shop. I'm really excited about the next step in this process. I'm really pleased with everything so far. And again, check down in the comments below, guys, for the link to the DeAgostini website where you can check out their other model kits. They have some wonderful stuff over there. I'll be taking a look and maybe getting some of those kits for myself down in the future here. I'm really pleased with the quality overall so far of this, you guys. Nothing but good vibes so far. Okay, everybody, well, thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back next time. Happy modeling, everyone.